Good morning, Deputy Mooney. Judge Middleton calling. Do you know we need Marty O'Brien for a sentence at 11? Yeah, I'm going to do him because I don't want him to miss lunch, but we'll do him sometime in the first part of our sentences. All right, thanks. Bye.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
We've got lots to do here. I just got the PSI on Barrera Sanchez. I was waiting for it.
That's a screening.
Screening, yeah. He's got that open warrant.
He does. I met with him this morning because I had to have Vivian, and she was scheduled to be here.
She's here.
Yeah.
Give me a moment here. Luke, I asked him to bring Marty O'Brien in so we won't miss lunch.
Okay.
Good morning, Vivian.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Buenos dias.
We've
Buenos
got a lot
dias.
on plate here. Let's bring Deborah of Davis here. And I've got a couple iPhones I need to identify, so give me a moment. Morning, Debbie.
Again.
Good morning, Miss iPhone. Can you hear me? I'd bring in the other one, but they're also named iPhone. Good morning, can you hear me? Making me dizzy. We got 3 iPhones. Here she goes. Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes,
What's your name?
Alicia Bowker.
Okay, I thought that was you, but you have a mask on.
Yes,
I gotta spell
running
Alicia right. ALEIGHSHA. All right, stay right where you are. We've got several other people named iPhone I need to bring in.
Okay.
We have 7 sentences this morning, which will be quite busy. This is Taraya Patrick, I think. Miss Patrick, can you hear me?
Okay, there it goes.
Is that you, Taraya?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me give you a name. I got another person to bring in named iPhone. Good morning, John.
Hello, Judge.
All right, I think this is, I'm not sure who this is. Might be the complaining witness. Good morning, Miss iPhone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's your name?
Emily Gutierrez.
All right. You're here on the assault case?
Yes.
All right, thank you for being here. All right, then we've got Mandy's phone, which probably is Amanda Barker. We've got Melissa Halleck. We've got the county jail. We've got John Gilbert. We've got Dallas Davison. We've got everybody but Mr. Barrera Sanchez. We've got 16 people on the feed. Good morning, everyone. This is Judge Middleton. It's 11:03. It's time for our sentences today. We've got 16 people on the feed. You're all live, so if you would just please be quiet until we wait your turn. We're waiting for one more person, I believe, but Mr. O'Brien is an inmate in the county jail, and he needs to eat lunch. And so we're going to free up that room first. And Mr. O'Brien, can you hear me?
Yes.
Your attorney, Mr. Knopfinger, is here. This is file 201272FT. You're charged attempted fleeing and eluding a police officer and resisting obstructing a police officer as an attempt. The matter is set for sentencing this morning. I think you've got 15 days credit, and you've got a couple of holds. We'll start with you, Mr. Knopfinger. What's your thought here?
Yeah, I would ask the court to consider exactly that. I know that Marty has another case. It does look like the court rendered judgment in the other pending case that he has, but yes, it's true. Marty has several holds, so I'd ask the court to consider that, waive discretionary fines and costs, and grant him his jail credit.
The jail credit is 29 days. Ms. Davis, do you have a position on this?
Your Honor, I agree. Part of the plea was that we wanted to have him sentenced and moved on so he could take care of his issues in Branch County, which are certainly more serious than what we have here. So we would have no further issue with it being just simply time served and releasing him to the next agency. Thank you.
Mr. O'Brien, is there anything you want to tell me?
No, sir.
I thought you also had a hold in Indiana, is that correct?
I don't know.
All right. Well, you've been in our jail for 29 days, and prosecutors accepting to that. 29 days, credit 29. I'm going to do the minimum allowable fine, which is $125 or 2 additional days. It may take that much time. I'll put indicated may be released to Branch County. It is April.
I know for some reason Judge Patterson sentenced me to the 9th instead of time served on the 5th.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I'm going to take care of these 2 felonies reduced to misdemeanors.
Right.
You weren't exactly tracking real straight when this stuff all went down, but as Deborah said, you got other things pending which are of greater consequence. I'll run these concurrent. $29 days, credit 29 days on the flee and elude. That will put some points on your record, but I think you may be suspended already. All right, this is one last thing you got to worry about. I'm not sure about Judge Patterson's ruling, but I'll indicate may be released to Branch County. All right, is there anything further we should do on that one?
No, Your Honor.
No, I don't
All right,
think.
thank you.
See you,
All
Marty.
right, Mr. O'Brien, you're good to go. Good luck on the whatever comes next.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Go out of there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
These things jump around. I end up deleting the wrong thing. Thank you, Luke. All right, now I would do Vivian's case with our translator, but the defendant isn't here.
Your Honor, for the interview this morning at 9 o'clock, we had to call him.
Matt, do you know what the deal is?
I did indicate at the end of our interview that he needed to log into your courtroom today, and I asked him if he had the appropriate login information. I suppose I could give him a call and see if we could get him connected.
Yeah, why don't you do that, please?
Yep.
All right. We've got some difficult cases here. I'm going to take the one where we have the complaining witness here, which is Amanda Barker. That's Mr. John Bush's case. Ms. Barker, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
This is file 202488SM. Amanda Barker was charged with aggravated assault for assaulting Emily Gutierrez, punched her in the nose and broke her nose. And the matter is set for sentencing here today. There was a payout from the Crime Victims Compensation Board, and there's a request for restitution. Mr. Bush, what would you like me to know?
I would indicate that Amanda is age 40. She is a single mother. She shares joint custody with one child. She has, throughout all this case, been a bus driver for the White Pigeon School District. She's been able to complete that employment even with the COVID issues. We have every reason to believe her employment should continue through the duration of this case. Her only criminal record that I'm aware of is 20 plus years ago. She had a disturbing the peace. I don't believe she's had any criminal activity since then.
I think she had a retail fraud in 19, but it was that was reduced to a civil infraction.
I know she's going to share with you. There's been a lot of history between my client and the victim in this case. I think it kind of went to the breaking point. She's regrets what she did. I think she was very frustrated. She's been upfront about what happens, and she recognizes there's going to have to be a punishment. I would ask the court to fashion any type of a punishment here that would allow her to continue her employment and continue parenting her child. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Davis, what's your position here?
Well, Your Honor, I know that Ms. Gutierrez wants to speak. She had filled out a victim impact statement. There is the restitution issue. I'm not sure what is still outstanding with that, so maybe Ms. Gutierrez can speak to that. But certainly at 40 years old, the behavior of beating up somebody in a parking lot over some guy is not acceptable behavior. And the fact that she broke this woman's nose, even if it was incidental as part of this, she didn't maybe intend to break her nose, it still is an intentional act to attack her. So I'd ask the court to consider a couple of days in jail as a punishment for what has occurred here. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Gutierrez, what would you like me to know?
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to start off by saying that I currently have a protection order against Amanda Barker and her boyfriend, John Moore.
All right, sorry, I kind of lost you there.
Oh, I said I currently have a protection order against Amanda Barker and Devon Moore, her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend. Amanda Barker, I have been followed plenty times in the past almost 2 years because she's aware that her boyfriend will not leave me alone. I've been waiting outside after work. So she followed me home. She would always message my friends asking about my whereabouts.
I'm not sure.
I'm having troubles hearing her.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong with your mic. If you get closer.
Okay, can you hear now?
Yes.
Okay. I said I had been followed for the past 2 years by Amanda Barker because she is aware that Devon Moore will not leave me alone. She has gone to the point where she has waited for me after work and followed me home. She messaged my friends asking about my whereabouts. She would always want me to set up Devon, and by setting up, I mean like she would want me to agree to go out to eat with him, and then she would want to pop up and cause a scene, or she then last year in October, as I was grocery shopping with me and my son, Amanda Barker and her friend Angelica Munoz, they were waiting for me outside to physically assault me or possibly kill me outside of Walmart. As I was putting my groceries away, she snuck up from behind me and grabbed my hair, pulling me down and slamming my face, causing my nose to hit the trunk latch, the metal trunk latch. And that's what caused my nose to break. I then went to the emergency room, and they confirmed it was a broken nose. When I was assaulted, my 5-year-old son was in the middle of the parking lot of Walmart, just screaming. Nobody was helping. They were just watching, not even workers. Police didn't even show up to the scene. Police showed up maybe like 20 minutes after at the hospital. I just want you to know that this incident has changed me dramatically, emotionally and physically. Every time that I'm like in any store, I'm always aware of my surroundings. I'm constantly looking behind my back. As I'm driving, I'm making sure that no car's following me. I don't feel safe going anywhere. Just because simply I have somebody who will not stop harassing me. I don't know what his motive is, or I don't know what he's capable of doing. Not
You're
only
talking
to
about
me.
You're talking about Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what he's capable of doing. This has caused me to get trauma and mild anxiety because of the incident. And I have gone to doctors about it. I'm still going to doctors. As far as my nose, it's completely healed. I don't have no crooked nose or no bumps or anything. I just have a scar. But my conclusion, I think it's just, since her boyfriend is not stopping, will she continue to do it? Will she continue to come for me and try to hurt me again, or is it gonna stop?
Well, I can't punish her for what her boyfriend did, but when's the last time you had contact with Mr. Moore?
He last tried to contact me on March 7th.
And you have a PPO since?
Yeah, I have it since October. I think it was like October 30th. So, and it's already been one incident, Your Honor. This is now another incident. So he's broke it once again, and now he keeps on breaking it.
All right. Miss Barker, what do you want to tell me?
Your Honor, I had no clue that he had contact with her on March 7th. I was told that Ms. Gutierrez looked at his story on his social media, which yet again is not me, but that contact has nothing to do with me. I was not aware. I have not made contact, nor do I want to. Like I said, I apologize that it came to this, but for 2 years, she stayed in steady contact. And I would ask her not to set him up, not to go to dinner, for proof that he was asking her for that, just to send me the messages so I could end a relationship. But she would not. She showed up at my work. She has contacted my friends. This has went on, like I said, for a long time. And I do regret that it came to that. I will take responsibility and pay what I need to. But as far as any contact that they've had, that is beyond me. I've not had any contact with her, and she will not have an issue with me. Her and Devon Moore can be together as far as I'm concerned.
All right, are you still seeing Devon Moore?
As of right now, Your Honor, I am no longer with Devon Moore.
Well, he certainly doesn't seem like he's worth fighting about. I mean, he is not complicit in all this. So why'd you grab her by the hair and bash her face against her trunk lid?
Because this girl has asked me to meet her at Walmart, which I have text messages. I've offered to give them to anybody multiple times. Asked me to run her off the road. She's told me that she would send me video of her being with my man if that's what she wants. wanted, like I said, this has been a long process, and I'm sorry that she feels she has mental distress. Maybe she should have quit talking to him. She could have got a PPO on him 2 years ago. I mean, this little affair between the two of them took place in 2018. I don't know why this was still going on. But in October,
back up. So that day, she didn't invite you to come there. She was there.
No, she did not.
She had a little
I
boy with her, and you bashed her face against the trunk lid. What prompted that on that particular day?
Because they had just been messaging each other and been together, and I had just put him out of my house to find out that she said, and I read a message that she was going to keep telling on him until I put him out so that they could be together. The only problem was that she had a girlfriend, and after so many times I went to Walmart to get things for dinner, and when we seen the car, and just like I said, I made the worst decision. I should have left her alone and let them be together, but I didn't. I made a huge bad choice that day. I mean, I'm not perfect, but you can only go for so long, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made a bad decision.
This happens a lot. That women are fighting over a man that isn't worth fighting about. Nope. But you're not sorry that she got her face bashed in. You're sorry that you made a bad decision. Ms. Davis, anything you wish to add? She popped her
trunk, Your Honor. She popped her trunk open. I did not. She knew I was standing there. I was coming up. I was yelling at her, and she turned her back to me and popped her trunk with her car keys. And as I was grabbing her, I did not mean to hit her with the car.
No.
Like, I wanted to hit her. Yes, I'm not lying about that. I grabbed her, but I did not mean to use the car. She popped her trunk.
All right. Okay, we've got certainly a disagreement here. How about 90 days? How's that sound for bashing somebody's face? I'm sorry I made a bad decision. You made a bad decision. Stop. Only one person can talk at a time, and right now it's me. I don't feel any remorse. The guy's not worth fighting about. She had to go to the emergency room. A little boy watches the whole thing in the parking lot. She's bleeding all over the place. He's traumatized. She's traumatized. Devon Moore ought to move to Texas or something and leave all of you alone. But I don't get any remorse. It's like she deserved the ass beating she got, and so it's not my fault, it's hers.
I'm sorry. I said I would take that day back if I could. That was the worst day. I am sorry. I made a huge mistake that day. The whole day I would take back. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I really am.
All right. Deborah, any final thoughts?
You're right. I think that you have highlighted what I would have highlighted, so I would leave it to the discretion of the court. Thank you.
How much was the restitution figure to the crime victims' rights?
I can check.
It was $414, Your Honor.
That's what I thought it was. Was there anything above and beyond that? Because she said in her victim's right it was $800 and some dollars.
Ms. Gutierrez, the $414, did that cover all of the costs?
Yeah, I think so. That was just the emergency, like the x-rays in the emergency room. But then I had to go to like other doctor consults, so they could check on my nose, but I got those back.
You don't have bills for those yet?
No.
And I guess I'd ask to reserve on further restitution.
All right, no one's asking for anger management or probation. I'm gonna reserve on restitution and order $414 to the Crime Victims' Rights Commission. There's a $100 fine, a $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee, and a $150 attorney fee. That's all money away from your kids. 100 plus 75 plus 50. plus 150 plus 414 on our reserve on the balance. That's $789. Make that payable by June 1. Are you on spring break right now?
Yes, Your Honor.
I don't have any bond money. Well, you go to jail tomorrow for 2 days. Credit 0. You can report to jail tomorrow at 7 p.m. That'll be April 6th. I don't know, 2 days, 90 days, what's the right answer? Jail's not fun.
I already had to go one day.
All right, 3 days, credit 1. Thank you. Starting
Your Honor.
tomorrow.
Would you have her on a non-reporting 1-month probation just to make sure she appears?
Yes.
Thank you.
Most people do appear when I order them to, but if they don't, they're subject to a probation violation or contempt, or I can alter the sentence. So if you don't show up, it'll probably be 90 days, but I expect that you will. You made a mistake, there was a consequence, and this is it. You get 2 days to think about it. All right. Now, hopefully, there may be some more restitution that comes up. This is all I know about at this point. All right, that completes this record. Ms. Gutierrez, thank you for being here. Ms. Parker, I'm gonna let you go.
Good luck, Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring in Mr. Pereira, who's late to the party, but I want to use our interpreter. Good morning. I didn't get a good handle on this. At 10:30, I didn't have the screening report yet, and I got it about 2 minutes before I came in here. So let me take another look at it.
Your Honor, the microphone was off. The interpreter needs to interpret that. May the interpreter interpret it?
I suppose, well, you don't need to tell them that I wanted to reread the report, but let's just start from scratch. Buenos dias. ¿Es usted Michelle Barrera?
Yeah.
All right. You met Vivian, our translator. I'm going to swear her in.
Usted conoció a nuestro intérprete Vivian. Yo le voy a pedir que preste juramento.
All right. Vivian, do you swear or affirm to the best of your ability you will interpret these matters from Spanish into English and English into Spanish?
I do.
And you didn't state your name. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask.
Vivian Montero, Court Interpreter 18369.
Thank you. Would you ask Mr. Barrera to take his hood down?
Señor Barrera, favor quitar el capucho.
He is in court.
Está en la corte.
Okay.
All right.
Senor Barrera.
Señor Barrera.
This is the time and date for sentencing on a drinking driving charge.
Esto es la hora y la fecha para la imposición de la condena sobre un cargo de conducir en estado de ebriedad.
I can't tell from this, is it an impaired plea, John?
Licenciado, no sé si es manejar con las facultades disminuidas,
I believe
licenciado.
it was a plea to OWI, Your Honor.
Okay.
Creo que la declaración fue a un OWI, su señoría.
John, what would you like me to know here?
Licenciado, ¿qué quiere que yo sepa?
Mr. Bier Sanchez, to the best of my knowledge, has no criminal record.
El señor Barrera Sánchez, a mi leal saber, no tiene antecedentes penales.
He showed me paperwork to show that he's a legal permanent resident in the United States.
Me demostró el papeleo que demuestra que él es residente permanente legal de los Estados Unidos.
He has a child that he pays child support at, I believe it was $145 per week.
Él tiene un hijo, una hija, y paga manutención de 140 a la semana, creo yo.
From reviewing the report, I think it's pretty clear that there are substance abuse issues, and apparently there is a Spanish program that can assist him. So I would ask the court to incorporate the recommendation in Mr. Huff's pre-sentence report.
Entonces, según el informe, creo que queda claro que hay problemas de abuso de sustancias y hay clases en español. Creo que debemos incluir esto en el informe.
Anything further?
¿Algo más?
I have nothing. Thank you, Judge.
Nada más, su señoría. Gracias.
Senor Barrera, I can't see you.
Señor Barrera, no le veo.
Would you unmute your microphone?
Si puede poner el micrófono.
All right, you need to unmute your microphone.
Necesita poner el micrófono.
Ok.
All right.
Sorry, es que se me estaba cortando la señal.
I was losing signal.
Are you moving?
¿Está en marcha?
Estoy afuera en el parqueadero del trabajo.
No, I'm outside of my work in the parking lot.
All right, the car is parked.
¿Está estacionado el auto?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, what would you like to tell me?
¿Qué es lo que desea usted decirme?
Pues depende de lo que me vayan a decir, pues qué es lo que tengo que hacer, si me van a dar cárcel o pagar.
It depends upon what's going to happen to me. If I'm going to receive jail time or I have to pay something.
Well, there is an open warrant for your arrest right now.
Hay una orden judicial de detención abierto para su arresto ahora mismo.
Okay. Pues
So you've known that for some time.
Usted lo ha sabido por un tiempo ya.
me comentaron en una llamada que hice que me van a dar un día de cárcel.
Someone commented to me during a call that I was going to receive 1 day of jail.
You have an open warrant for malicious destruction of property.
Usted tiene una orden judicial de detención por destrucción a una propiedad.
A una
It's been
propiedad.
outstanding since October.
Ha estado pendiente desde octubre.
No sé la verdad qué destrucción de qué casa.
I don't know. Destruction of what?
Well, let me get out of this. It's a big mess, but give me a second.
Deme un momento.
The allegation is that on October 10th, you injured a building at 122 North Nottawa Street in Sturgis, worth more than $200 but less than $1,000.
La situación es que usted destruyó parte de un edificio en el 122 norte de la Nottawa. Destrucción por encima de $200, pero menos de $1,000.
This was at the police department.
Eso fue en el departamento de policía.
You bashed your head into the wall.
Usted golpeó la cabeza contra la pared.
In the booking room.
En el cuarto de ficheo.
And they had to pay $550 to repair the drywall.
Tuvieron que gastar $550 para reparar el drywall o el chiroc.
And that warrant has been outstanding the whole time this case has been proceeding.
Y esa orden judicial de arresto ha estado pendiente durante todo el proceso de este caso.
And I'm not going to ignore it anymore.
Ya no lo voy a ignorar.
I want you to turn yourself in at the St. Joseph County Jail by 5 p.m. today.
Quiero que usted se entregue en la cárcel del condado de St. Joe a más tardar a las 5 de la tarde hoy.
And then we will return to this. I'm not going to sentence you when there's an open warrant for your arrest.
Y luego vamos a volver al caso. Yo no voy a hacer la imposición de la condena mientras hay una orden judicial de arresto pendiente.
That I've told you about several times.
Sobre el cual había dicho varias veces.
Once you're arrested on that charge,
cuando ya usted ha sido arrestado sobre ese cargo,
you will be arraigned and they will set a bond.
Usted recibirá la lectura formal de cargos y luego van a fijar la fianza.
But I'm not going to do this sentence while you have an open misdemeanor warrant for your arrest.
Voy a concluir la imposición de la condena sobre este caso mientras hay una orden judicial de arresto pendiente sobre otro.
Because we've been doing everything virtually,
como ya hemos hecho todo de manera virtual,
by Zoom,
por Zoom,
you've never actually been here to the court.
Usted nunca ha llegado aquí a la corte o al tribunal.
If you had come to the court, we would have taken you into custody and taken you out for an arraignment.
Si hubiese acudido al tribunal, le hubiéramos tomado bajo custodia y tendría su lectura formal de cargos.
I have a better suggestion.
Tengo mejor recomendación.
I want you to turn yourself in at the jail at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Quiero que se entregue en la cárcel mañana por la mañana a las 9 de la mañana.
Can you do that?
¿Puede hacerlo?
He's on mute.
Yes.
Que ponga su micrófono.
Entonces, hoy no,
The interpreter cannot hear, Your Honor. It's fading in and out.
Senor Barrera?
Señor Barrera,
mañana.
I want
the
you to
interpreter
turn
couldn't.
yourself in at the jail tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Señor Barrera Sánchez, quiero que se entrega usted en la cárcel mañana por la mañana a las 9 de la mañana.
Está bien.
That's
Arrange
fine.
myself.
Yo haré la lectura formal de cargos.
Okay.
And then we will address this matter at that time.
Y luego
John-
hablaremos sobre este caso en ese momento.
Está bien.
John, do you have any pre-exams tomorrow?
I have 11 of them tomorrow morning, so I'm really going to be
It's
very
going to
busy.
be a very busy morning. We'll fit him in somewhere. Vivian, are you available tomorrow at 10?
Your Honor, I do have a 2-hour hearing at 10 o'clock.
How about 9:30?
Yeah, I could do 9:30.
All right. We will do it tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Mr. Bush will be here. Mr. Barrera will be there. We'll arraign him on his misdemeanor and complete this sentence.
Entonces, usted se va a entregar a la cárcel mañana por la mañana a las 9 y la audiencia será mañana a las 9:30 de la mañana.
Okay.
All right.
I will see you tomorrow from the jail.
Le veré mañana desde la cárcel.
Está bien.
That's fine.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
All right, now we've got some more difficult cases. 3 of these are methamphetamine cases that are difficult. Thank you, Vivian.
You're welcome. Signing off. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to address Alicia Bowker. We got pre-sentences on Bowker and Gilbert, or Davidson, in a difficult circumstance. And Gilbert, Miss Patrick is set for sentence also. Let's start with Alicia Bowker. This is a difficult case for a combination of reasons, not the least of which she doesn't admit any knowledge of the methamphetamine being in her possession. Ms. Bowker is represented by Ms. Halleck. Good morning, Melissa.
Morning.
Ms. Bowker?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good
If I
morning.
sent you for a drug test right now, what would be in it?
My prescription medications of my Adderall, my oxycodone, Motrin 800, Prestige, and hydrocodone, and 2 antibiotics.
No methamphetamine?
No, Your Honor. No alcohol. No marijuana.
You're on an odd combination of the suppressants and stimulants. Opioids and Adderall, and that's scary, but I don't know what to make of this methamphetamine, and neither did Matt. So what I'm going to do to see whether you can even do a probation, can you go to the day reporting center by 3 o'clock today and do a urine test?
Go to the where?
The day reporting center in Three Rivers.
Well, I'm in Kalamazoo. I have to pick up my children from school by 3:30. Is there
Yeah,
any?
if she calls me, I can set up something at OCC in Kalamazoo on Healy Street.
All
Yeah.
right. I want to know whether there's any methamphetamine in your bloodstream. Melissa, are you available next Monday, April 12th?
April 12th. It's cutting it close. I have a lot going on. What time?
I would do 11. Let's see what I've got.
Yeah, no, I
Mine's-
have something scheduled in that day.
All right, well, give me a minute. Let's see what we got here. I'm concerned about the ability to put her on a probation, the expense, the logistics of getting her where she needs to be. How about next Wednesday, April 14th? Are you available then?
Yes.
All right, continue it to Wednesday, April 14th at 11 a.m. I want you to call Daniel. We'll set up a drug screening. Now, he's recommending a probation, but you don't acknowledge that you admitted possessing it, but not using it. And I don't know what you didn't have insurance or a license. And is your license still suspended, or did you get it unsuspended?
No, Your Honor. On that Monday following the 29th of the arrest, I paid the ticket to reinstate and was able to possess the insurance on February 3rd as well.
Very good. So I don't know what I'm dealing with, but I want to find out. So I want you to call Daniel. Daniel will facilitate a test for you this afternoon, probably right after lunch. You'll go do a urine test. We'll get the results and we will discuss it further next Wednesday.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would
Yeah.
request that she take copies of her valid prescriptions for all of those items, which she said would be in her system.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
All right. I didn't really want to kick the can down the road, but after I read the pre-sentence and the police report indicated you denied knowing it was there, but they felt there was more to it. I don't really know where you were going. You're visiting somebody here in Three Rivers. All right, we'll address this April 14th at 11 a.m. That's next Wednesday. I'll see you then.
All right. One question, Your Honor. Is there any
Yes.
way that we can do the drug screen before 3 o'clock?
Yes, it'll probably be like at 1 o'clock. So
Okay.
call Daniel. We'll try to make it so you can get your kids from school.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. All right, you're good to go.
Okay, thanks.
Terea Patrick.
Yes, sir.
This ordinance case. This is an impaired driving case. Miss Patrick, I'm gonna have you wait because the other people all have attorneys. And so we'll deal with these and then we'll come to yours. But let's talk about Dallas Davison. This person does acknowledge that he has a methamphetamine problem. This is file 21313FY. I don't know what to do in this case. There's a very extensive criminal record. And Matt made a recommendation of a bunch of jail deferred. So I don't know. He's not 7411 eligible. This is file number 21313FY. Once again, Melissa Halleck is representing the defendant Ms. Halleck, what would you like me to know?
Well, one of the reasons that he got this offer, Your Honor, is because he was very open and honest with myself and the prosecutor about his problem. He does want treatment, and I think the report makes it clear. I think he's a good option. I think he shows a desire to change, and we know how difficult that can be with meth to follow through on. But again, a lot of his stuff is older, and I mean, I agree with the recommendation. I think that he, from my communications with him, has been good. He is working. He does have employment. He's a his life is pretty stable. So hopefully that offers some, I would think, reasons to put him on this probation. I think he could comply with it. And I think he will. So I guess just reading over the report, I think that it shows, you know, where he's at in his life, and that he does want treatment, and he knows he needs it. And he knows that this is a great opportunity and a great offer, and he's acknowledged that, and he's really wanting to take advantage of it. So we would just ask that you do follow the recommendation.
All right. Mr. Davison, this happened in February. It's now April. Have you done anything treatment-wise?
As far as treatment-wise, sir, I've been going to NA, and I also attend a men's health group here, put on by my my pastor.
Who's that?
His name is Richard Fowler. Rick Fowler, sir.
Where's his church?
I'm not sure the church. I just see him. See, I met him when I moved in back into the town of Vicksburg. He was my across the street neighbor. Now, I've never been to a congregation that he's held, but he owns a shop here in Vicksburg that he holds a men's health group in at his shop. And he's like a mentor to me, sir. I speak with him almost on a daily basis, and he's really been a godsend to me during this time, sir.
Deborah, you have any input here? You saw Matt's pre-sentence report. There's some troubling stuff in there.
Yes, and Matt had sent that to me last week, and I did review it, and my response to him was that I thought it was an excellent assessment and that his recommendation was spot on, and I would recommend the same thing. Certainly hoping that Mr. Davison is just getting through one relapse that he's going to be able to recover from and stay out of the system. And Ms. Halleck is correct. His offer directly reflected his level of cooperation and remorse from the very moment that he was pulled over. So I sense that he does in fact want to be clean and free of substances. So hopefully this will give him that opportunity. And if not, there'll be jail time in his future.
Matthew, anything you wish to add?
Yes, Your Honor. I would just say, if there's one word to sum up Mr. Davison from just the short time that I've spent getting to know him, it's ambivalence. And frankly, we see where things go if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. And I think that, as Ms. Davis just pointed out, when he was pulled over by the police report indicates he is upfront and honest right away and said, look, you're going to find drugs. He was upfront and honest with me with regard to his addiction, at least mostly honest with me. It's impossible to know for sure, but I mean, he knows he's got a meth problem. And as I outlined in my report, the reason I've recommended probation is because if he goes to jail, he'll get back out, he'll commit a new offense in one way or another, he'll be back on the same track. So the worst thing we could do, I guess in your words, is fail here. I'm not very happy that, I guess that this is, or it's not ideal rather, that this is an out-of-county resident in Mr. Davison. But again, I think the only way Mr. Davison is going to get on the right track here is if we have the court kind of riding him and pushing him towards the right side.
Well, there's an unspoken issue here. You got a suspended driver's license. You're not supposed to be driving a car in the first place. You've got multiple drunk driving charges, a couple felony drunk driving charges, and you were driving a car just on a day, just like nothing else was going on. So you obviously still are thinking criminal behavior. Even though you were real cooperative with the police, you weren't supposed to be driving a car at all. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 prior drunk driving convictions, including at least 2 felonies, 3 felonies. So that isn't very impressive. There's been no sanction for that. How do you get back and forth to Sutherland every day?
Sir, I work in the same town as I live in, sir. When I don't have any rides, I can walk. It's literally maybe a 10-minute walk.
That's in Vicksburg?
That is correct, sir.
Where is it in Vicksburg?
5411 East V Avenue. It's, if you were familiar with the town of Vicksburg, sir, it's over by the BP gas station.
All right. So that troubles me. You're not sort of suspended, you're way suspended. Whose car were you driving?
It was a car that I was purchasing that has since been taken away.
Yeah, you don't need to purchase a car because you're not going to get your driver's license back in any foreseeable time frame.
Sir, I agree.
So if I took the methamphetamine out of it, you deserve a lengthy jail sentence for driving a car after 6 drunk driving arrests on just discretionary driving. So it's like you get treated better because you got a meth charge. The driving charge just sort of got swallowed up. But that offends my sensibilities. So I don't disagree with, and the other problem is 3 of your previous probations were revoked. Drunk driving second offense revoked way back in 2003. Drunk driving third offense revoked in 2010. And your 2017 felony probation was also revoked and you did 365 days in jail. So Matt's pointed that out. Jail hasn't solved your problem. It hasn't stopped you from driving either. But I'm going to try a probation. I think this is a case that is appropriate for probation because there's an addiction issue. I am concerned that you live in another jurisdiction, but you're going to go to jail for 4 weekends for driving a car when you got 6 prior drunk driving charges. I'm going to order 9 days jail, credit 1 of the 9 days. Well, actually, I'm gonna order 91 days, credit 1. Of the 91 days, 83. And 82 are deferred, which is 4 weekends to be scheduled by the probation department. No driving as a condition of probation.
Yes, sir. May I say something, sir?
Yes?
First and foremost, I'd like to apologize to yourself, Ms. Halleck, Mr. Huff, and I'm not sure of the other lady's name. I'm sorry, ma'am, for making you take the time to do this today. I know it was a horrible decision that I regret making every day. I realized that it could have taken me away from my kids for a significant amount of time, but I'm here to be held accountable, sir. I'd also like to apologize to the people of Michigan, flat out, because I could have hurt somebody. This could have ended up a lot worse. Look, I realize that I'm human and I make stupid decisions too, and that this was a very, very stupid decision on my part, and I'd like the opportunity to rectify the damage that I've caused to myself, my family, and to the public for that matter. So I don't want to lose everything I've worked so hard for, Your Honor. So thank you.
Well, thank you. No one ever says that. It's not some heinous crime that you had some methamphetamine in your possession. It's a very powerfully addictive substance. If you could quit, you would. You don't turn it off like a switch. But you were driving a vehicle under the influence of it. They didn't charge you with operating while intoxicated by a drug, but you were also suspended. I'm more concerned about that than I am the drug charge, that you were not taking that seriously. But I think you're genuinely remorseful, and if you can get your addiction under control, everybody will be better off. The fine is 0. How did you manage to keep your job through all these incarcerations? Did you get work release on all those?
On one of them, I did, sir. I went there right out of high school, sir. And for a lack of better terms, I just kept my nose to the grindstone there, and I worked my way all the way up to first shift supervisor, which I have since lost that position due to this stupid decision that I've made. I have a very good work ethic, I guess, sir. I don't know why.
Well, I'm impressed. I don't know many long-term meth addicts that have had a 20-year job, especially with as much criminal baggage as you've got. The fine is 0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee. There's a $150 attorney fee. And the probation is 24 months. You're entitled to discharge earlier than that, but I'm going to go with the whole thing because it may take a year to do this. 480 plus 480 is 960. It could be reduced. As I indicated, 91 days, credit 1, 82 of the days are deferred, meaning there's 9 days. That leaves 8 days, which will be served on weekends, for driving under the influence of methamphetamine and with a mega suspended license. Plus 75, plus 50, plus 150. This is all money away from your family.
Yes, sir.
275, and I'm cognizant of that. In fact, everything I've ordered here, I have to order. That's $1,235. I don't believe I have any bond money. No, that's due in 1 year or 12 days jail. No drugs and no alcohol, including marijuana. Drug screens and alcohol screens at random. Substance abuse counseling and treatment as directed, including NA. And no driving.
Sir.
Matt, was there anything else I should put in there?
Oh, I believe that covers it, Your Honor.
All right, Matt will be a hold of you and discuss the terms of the probation and schedule those 4 weekends in jail.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, Mr. Dixon, let's hope this works for you, your family, and all the rest of us.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to Mr. Gilbert. We sure spent a lot of time doing methamphetamine cases, and this is another one. This is People versus John Gordon Gilbert. I don't know much about this. There's no police report in there. The bond information sheet says traffic stop for ELV no. I don't even know what that means. Driver admitted to no license and told me there may be meth in the vehicle. Meth was located in the vehicle. And the defendant also shouldn't have been driving and has baggage that prohibits him from being on a 7411 probation. Mr. Bush, your counsel in this case, do you have any words of wisdom for me?
I'll try. It's my understanding that his baggage that prevents the 7411 probation is old. Perhaps going back to when he was a teenager even.
Yes.
And I believe it all involved marijuana at the time. Mr. Gilbert has had employment at Formula in Bristol, Indiana for I think upwards now of 6 months. He's been open and forthcoming about using meth. I do believe if a trial was held to flesh out all the facts that whatever meth was recovered was probably in the possession of the passenger of the vehicle. I would ask the court to fashion a probation. He's been upfront to me that he's been using methamphetamine for some time, and he's never had any formal services, and I believe he would be a good candidate. He does live in Jones, Michigan.
Mr. Gilbert, are you on probation or parole?
No.
Ms. Halleck, what's your thought here? Oh, excuse me, Ms. Davis.
You mean Ms. Davis?
Yes, Ms.
Sorry.
Davis. My screen is, I'm on the lean, so I can't see you. I apologize.
Well, actually, I was just speaking with Prosecutor Marvin about this case because it confused me with the amount of meth that was found and kind of the circumstances regarding it. The lab report came back and it was, I just don't want to get this wrong. 5.75 grams of meth, which is a pretty significant amount. In reading of the police report, the vehicle was pulled over for a pretty mild reason, not having insurance on it. And yes, he was upfront with the officer about the presence or potential presence of meth. He did take responsibility for it, even though the passenger seemed to have some stake in the game here with it being in a small pouch with pink hearts on it. And it was a female passenger, but he took the fall for it.
Who was the passenger?
Her name did not ring a bell to me, but it was Karen Dennings. So this happened a year ago. So obviously that kind of plays into what we do with the case as well.
Well, I see offense date as 1/16 of 21.
It says 1/16/2020 on all the police report.
Oh, let's take a look.
So now I guess, but it was printed on 1/17/21. So maybe they just.
I believe it happened in 21.
Okay.
Never had a charge before. It's first time around.
So, well, that changes things a little bit too, then if it was just this past year. But I don't think he was being honest about when he had most recently used. He had said it was like a week prior, but he doesn't have any prior meth charges. And I guess that's the reasoning of Prosecutor Marvin for this one. So we're giving him the benefit of the doubt this time, but certainly if he were to come in front of this office again with these types of charges, we will take it extremely seriously. And if he's given the chance to rehabilitate himself and not have these issues, then we're certainly willing to give him that chance to stay out of jail for it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. What can you tell me about his driving record?
Let me take a look.
It's in there. No.
He doesn't have any prior felonies either, which was another reason Prosecutor Marvin gave him this offer. Looks like he had an open intox in 2010, drove a license not proper in 2010. And that is it. His license is expired. But I mean, everything appears to be back from 2010, 2011. He needed to pay some reinstatement fees.
Mr. Gilbert, you're in your car and you're in the passenger seat. Where's your car parked?
It's at my house.
Okay. Why are you in the car?
Because I know I get good signal outside my house.
All right. Where were you going this day on January 16th?
We were actually headed home from Walmart.
All right. Does Miss Dennings live with you in Jones?
Yeah.
She had some traffic stuff here, not much, but she did live in Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
All right. And you were driving?
Yes.
What's the status of the car now?
It's in my driveway, but I'm not. My mom takes me to work.
All right.
She's retired and takes me to work.
Well, I don't believe that these require a suspension of your license anymore as of April 1st. But 5.7 grams is a couple $100 worth of methamphetamine. I'm not sure you're not taking the rap for her. The other lady denied using meth. You accepted responsibility. If I gave you a test today, what would it show?
I'd be clean.
Well, we'll get one here soon.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to do a 24-month probation. 91 days, credit 1 of the 91. 89 are deferred. You get 2 days on a weekend for driving on a suspended license. Same thing, the fine is 0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee, $960 probation oversight fee, which could be reduced by as much as $480. Again, no alcohol, no controlled substances. And we'll get a drug screen soon. The problem is you live in Jones, you're going to have to test at the day reporting center. And that could be problematic, but this no longer, I believe, requires that your license be suspended.
Your Honor, I believe he's already spent 2 days in jail. If you want to tailor.
All right, let's take a look at that. That may be sufficient. Let me look. I forgot to look at his credit. He got arrested on January 16th, and he bonded out on the 18th. All right. 91 days credit 2. Which is 89 days deferred. All right. You have not been in contact with the probation department. And I want you to contact, what shift do you work?
First,
What time do you get out?
normally around 1:30. We wait until the trailer's done, but 1:30, I can leave at 1:30.
Well, all right, I want you to, you don't have to come in here, but I want you to call the court for the probation department after you get out of work.
Okay.
All right, do you have any questions?
Can we give him that phone number, Your Honor?
Daniel, what number should he call?
For the testing,
No, for the report, 467-5541.
5541 for probation.
467-5541. All right, sir. This is not a 7411 probation, but we'll hope we can make it work. Also, no driving unless licensed.
Okay.
All right, you're good to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Miss Patrick, I apologize. Someone has to be last, and today it's you. I'm going to see you again for landlord-tenant court at 4 o'clock. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll see you there. This is the impaired driving case. This is a troubling case. You had your kids in the car. Not good circumstance. Daniel, what would you like me to know here?
Well, she was very honest, upfront about everything.
Well, there's a discrepancy. The lady at McDonald's says she was drinking the.
That is about the only issue that I saw.
She denies drinking it. I don't know that, I can't tell whether the bottle was unsealed or not.
And I can't tell from the police report that it was either. She says their friend bought a bottle of Crown and was sitting on the back seat, and I have nothing to contradict that, but she did say she drank. She was stupid. She's glad no one got hurt. She would do whatever she had to on probation.
I thought it was Hennessy.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was in it.
Oh, I went off my memory, so that's probably not good.
All right.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Well, I mentioned this to her at the time of her plea. She was accepting of responsibility, but it's never good when there's kids in the car. And we get lots of calls from McDonald's and Taco Bell and Burger King of people going through the drive-through drunk or drinking. We get lots and lots of them, as in dozens of them in the course of a year. And you're on the verge of being homeless with this termination case that's set for this afternoon. So you're in dire straits here. What would you like to tell me?
Like I said, I was drinking before I left. It was I had my son and my friend needed me to come pick her up from work. I didn't know that I was supposed to. It was just a big thing. Since I had my son and, went to go pick her up, grab something to eat, and grabbed another bottle, so that we could, so we wouldn't have to come back out. So I was drinking Monaco's, and then my cousin and her was drinking. It was in the front seat, and we were trying to make room, so we took the bag that we had just bought and put it in the back seat. Now that's what she saw, but I never drank in the drive-through, or like I told the officer, yeah, there's a bottle in the car, but it's closed. I did drink before I left the house, but other than that, I didn't drink in the drive-through, So other than that, I don't know. It's unfortunate. Like I said, I was drinking, but I wasn't drunk. It was just a sudden thing where I had to run and go get a friend. And, since I was drinking, it was a go to McDonald's so I can get the kids food and stuff and go back home so I wouldn't have to come back out.
Well, guess what? You were drunk. Your blood alcohol was 0.10, which is over the legal limit. So if you were drunk, that means you're a good drinker and that it doesn't affect your ability to drive or operate a vehicle. I think this did affect your ability to drive or operate a vehicle. Although you did a pretty good job on the field sobriety test, which might mean you're a pretty good drinker. And your kids, somebody had to come get the kids. It's just bad all the way around.
No one had to come get my kid. Like I said, my friend was able to take my car and my kid home. Nobody had to come get my son.
She didn't get arrested. They let her take the car home?
Because we had just picked her up from work, so she was fine.
Should have had her drive. Daniel, what's your thought here?
Well, I think this is a good point to have a timeout, short timeout from drinking and any drugs, and get some education just to reinforce that that was not a good idea. I think she'll do well, and I think she's probably learned her lesson.
Well, I hope so. You seem like a bright young woman. You're always very polite and respectful, and you tend your business. But this was not a good plan at all.
No, unfortunately it wasn't.
I guess we'll never know the answer of, I don't know why she would have called if there was just a bottle in a bag in the back seat, but she says specifically she saw you drinking out of the bottle, but it doesn't really matter because you were over the legal limit.
Right. No, I know exactly what she's talking about. Like I said, we ordered a bunch of food to go back home, and the bottle was in the front seat. And so we took everything and moved it to the back seat so we could make room for the, the drinks and the bags of food that we had just got.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna do a 6-month probation, which actually could be even shorter than that.
Okay.
4 days jail, credit 1, leaving 3 days to serve, and I'm going to defer those 3 days. I want you to do the victim impact panel. They did not request a police reimbursement. We're going to do substance abuse counseling and treatment as directed, testing as directed, no drugs, no alcohol, that includes marijuana. Marijuana is legal, so is alcohol, but while you're on probation, you can't use either one unless you have a medical marijuana card.
Okay. So I'm confused. Do I have, so deferred, I don't understand. So do I have?
You're not going to do any more jail if you comply with the terms of your probation. If you don't, we got 3 days hanging over your head.
Okay.
$300 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, $100 screening fee, a police reimbursement of $0. That's fortunate. There's no attorney fee. Victim impact fee of $15 and $240 probation oversight fee. Drinking driving is an expensive proposition.
Wait, so I got to pay all that?
Yep. I'm going to add it up here.
Oh, geez. Well.
$780.
Okay, that's bad.
All right, well, it's bad enough. It could be reduced by 120.
I think I had $100 of bond, Your Honor.
Oh, all right. $100 bond makes $680. Due in 6 months or 7 days jail. All right, Daniel, you know how to get a hold of her?
Yes, sir.
All right, Miss Patrick, I'll see you, I think this afternoon at 4 on your other case. We'll
Yes.
take care of that one at that time. I'm hopeful, Daniel is hopeful, that you're gonna do a good job on this probation. Many of the drunk drivers I see once and never see them again, like most of them. I hope you fall in that category.
Oh yeah, I don't do too good with trouble, so it was just like I don't know, but so this is I one of those most.
All right, I'll see you this afternoon. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel.
You're welcome. Thank you, Your Honor.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was a very busy time period there. Let me get all the files together. We'll stop the recording. We have a very busy afternoon of landlord, tenant, and civil matters beginning at 1:15. I'm gonna have a very short lunch.